Hello, I'm AppyX Toycat, and Minecraft has been removed from the Google Play and Apple App Store in Russia, and it's been removed from those mobile app stores because of the Microsoft announcement that they would halt further product sales in Russia. This seems like a simple enough announcement on the surface, like, oh, Microsoft is sanctioning Russia, and that's a very good thing because we want Russia to be sanctioned. However, really, when you think about it more, it's one of those moves that's not only not very productive, but I think it's actually counterproductive and maybe, just maybe, won't help out Ukraine at all. But let's explain first of all what is going on here, because obviously Russia did a little bit of a military thing recently, sending their troops into neighboring Ukraine because they didn't have permission to send their troops in to kill the soldiers of another country. This is against international law and is widely considered to be an invasion, and so the world is saying, hey, we don't like that, and they're trying to stop Russia. Obviously, they cannot use their physical weapons because of the risk of confrontation, so instead the world is using their economic weapon, and that comes in the form of sanctions and not doing trade in the form of buying and selling with Russia. Now that we've gone through the basics, you might understand why Microsoft and other tech companies are choosing not to do business in Russia. This is not something they are legally required to do, but they're choosing to do their bit to help out on this economic war front by hurting Russia's economy a tiny bit, because the more hurt their economy is, the less they're able to stage war and all the other things. And so their great move is to stop selling anything on Xbox or Microsoft platforms. This can be physical Surface laptops, this can be Xbox Live, this can even be Microsoft Office, of course, which means good luck trying to do your PowerPoints, Putin. Yeah, the West is doing a good job, and they're showing Russia that, yeah, we mean business and we're not going to do trade with you. And sadly, because Microsoft includes Minecraft, they are pulling even Minecraft from the Russian App Store because, of course, they don't want to do trade and business with Russia, and that includes Minecraft, which is technically a form of trade and business. And on the surface, that's perfectly reasonable and logical. However, I think it's a case where a overgeneralized rule is doing some harm on the actual minutia, and the reason I think that's true is because Minecraft is not a game being played on the front lines that is helping to actively contribute to the military. I think instead Minecraft is a game being played by the average Russian civilian who is maybe just as confused about this as us. Again, if there are people in the world that are going to excuse Russia's actions, they are most likely going to be inside Russia. However, should your opinion on war be the one thing that dictates whether you get to play this game? And even if that is true, even if we're saying, you know what, no, you're from a country that did bad, and so we're going to punish you as a whole, which I think is scary enough logic by itself, you know, punishment of the entire group for the actions of the few. I think it's especially telling that this is something that would mostly punish the lower classes of Russia. I don't know why whenever, you know, countries go to war and do stuff, we insist on getting, you know, the bottom of the rung first. Like, we try to attack the lowest people on the totem pole, but that's what we're doing with the Minecraft thing, you know? Like, sure, there might be a millionaire out there who's really disappointed they can't get their hands on this one thing, but you're mostly just disappointing, you know, Russian people, country over, who now won't be able to play Minecraft. And the reason I think that even if we don't care about the morality of removing it, and we're just saying, yeah, let's do the maximum economic damage, I think that this is not a good decision, even with that taken into light, because bear in mind, Minecraft is a multiplayer game. Minecraft is a collaborative game, and in general is a force for good in the world. Sure, you might be able to make some really niche argument that, well, because they built Chernobyl inside of Minecraft, the Russians could use that to make an invasion plan, and it'd be funny if we ever found that was true. However, I think what is much more true is that people from Russia play Minecraft with people from the rest of the world. If not necessarily on the same servers and directly on the same worlds together, then at the very least it's part of that same gaming community, right? And why would you try to cut them off from this? Why would you try to take one of these issues that the whole world is pretty much on unanimous agreement with, even inside of Russia? It's not like there's huge support for, we want another country's citizens to die so that we can achieve our military objectives. I don't think that's what they're thinking. I think the majority of people are into some form of propaganda where they're like, wow, there really is a special operation going on over there. Thank God that we're doing the right thing and getting rid of those bad people to help out our friends in Ukraine, because again, they are very close countries. I think that this is the issue that you don't solve by taking away information. This isn't an issue that you can solve by giving access to more. I think one of the big reasons we've seen so many fewer conflicts in the last few decades, and off those fewer conflicts, it's generally just a massive country going in and steamrolling a smaller one, is because of the fact that it is so much harder to push propaganda because you don't control the narrative. The whole reason we saw the Arab Spring and many countries remove their authoritarian governments is because no longer, as an authoritarian, do you have access to control the means of your population. The only place that is generally considered to be true is North Korea, because they literally are cut off from the internet. And so why would we do our bit to take a dictator, to some extent, let's be honest, he's not officially a dictator, he holds elections, air quotes, but why would we take a man who is, at the very least, not very fond of democracy, and why would we do their job for them. I mean, if you think about it, right, the removal of Minecraft is not a very effective sanction, and the reason you can tell is because, do you remember that one point where Turkey was considering banning Minecraft because it was too violent? If Turkey had done so, they wouldn't be sanctioning themselves, right? They'd just be trying to encourage people to play other games, to find other sources that are maybe more preferable to them. In case you're curious, because I know I was, that did never go anywhere in the end. They did manage to strike that down before it became official law, but still, the idea was they weren't ever actually, doing a great sanction on themselves, were they? And so, in the same way, I don't think we're committing any economic harm to Russia by removing their Minecraft, although you can argue that every time someone spends $6 on Minecraft, that's 6 Russian dollars that they're getting to enjoy, but that's just their rubles leaving their economy, right? Like, surely, if anything, you could argue, yeah, don't buy anything from Russia, only sell things to them. There's all sorts of ways we could look at this and say this, but the ultimate reason that I'm actually against this, there's a lot of really good arguments. I think the validity of information is great. I think targeting the lower classes is bad, but the real reason that is maybe a bit too hippie for everyone's liking is because I think we should be better than the people that we are fighting and that we claim we are better than. I think that if we say, yeah, this is a crazy guy who is in charge, who will hurt so many innocent people just to get what he wants, we will do the same to show him a message. Like, we're willing to hurt your innocent civilians and take away their Minecraft or take away their access to Xbox Live or YouTube or whatever other services it may be. I don't think that we're sending a great message. I think that if you want to project yourself as the good guy, you say, we really don't like the guy who leads your country, but you are just people. We know you are caught up in this. And the only reason I can think you would do otherwise is if you're trying to very heavily influence, with the form of all of these things together, maybe some form of uprising against the leader. That's the obvious way you do this. You make sure that the leader, the leader, Putin in this case, his position becomes untenable, and that someone else replaces him who says, actually, let's stop this war going on in Ukraine. Whether that actually works or happens is very, very unlikely in the end. I hope that this turns out to be temporary news. I hope that this turns out to maybe even be a falsity, like an accident that they overlooked or something like that. However, because the company president, Brad Smith, said that, well, we had to suspend all the sales in wake of the political unrest in Ukraine because we're horrified, angered, and saddened by the images coming from the war, which, by the way, it is terrible. I want to be extra clear here. Not good. War bad. Fighting bad. All these young men who are sent to die just because their country wanted to, it's messed up on so many levels, and I just think that we should say that actually, wouldn't it be better if we were the better ones here? Or maybe that's not the strategic thing and I'm just missing this whole point. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, but also, let me know in the comments. This will be a very reasonable comment section, I'm sure, because people definitely don't get emotional and pretend they're exact experts and everything around. And so, yeah, I'm gonna skip the whole like, subscribe, whatever else at the end of this, and just say thank you for watching. I am at least slightly bummed out at the continuing state of things being. I just think that we should try our best to be just and reasonable when we can be, but maybe that's a crazy opinion. Maybe we should just jump on every bandwagon and solve things via Minecraft splash text instead. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, because I'll see you all next time. Bye!